Alright, it is 3:32 a.m. and I'm doing this instead of being depressed. I just have my 2025 reading challenge pulled up here. I'm probably gonna actually have like risk gameplay instead, but we got all 15 achievements this year. We read 26 out of our planned 21 books read, and a lot of it was manga. So if I scroll all the way down and go in order, in order, okay, we read Open Throat first, which was honestly one of the sickest books we've ever read. It's just about like it's from the perspective of a panther who's trans femme, and she trying to do an unscripted book info dump is so fucking funny. It was super like poetic and there's very minimal dialogue. It focuses a lot on the perspective of a mountain lion that like understands humans just enough to like conceptualize queerness and identity, but clearly is somewhat removed from it by virtue of being an animal. And the book doesn't try to get away from that. It really does embrace the nuances of like, she is fundamentally an animal and she cannot be like also a wild animal. She can't be a pet. She is, I think that has a lot to say about like destiny and fate. This video is gonna suck. But I wanted to do it right now and I don't think I'm recording it if I don't do it now. So here we are. Next book, Punk's Not Dead. We actually read volume 1 and 2 this year. That's all they have that we could find. That was super kick-ass. Gorgeous graphic novel. Super fucking stylized. It gets into like, honestly a lot of it was for the fucking visuals. It's just the coolest shit ever. This story is also cool. It's fundamentally about like, I mean it's about punk music and how like it serves to rebel against the expectations of society, and it leans into magic and stuff. Like there's magic music powers and like the whole premise is that this kid's connected to a ghost of, what the fuck is his name? View book details. Sid, I can't remember his last name, but he's like a I think he's a real musician. That this kid, his ghost was trapped in the airport. Which airport? Does it say? Yeah, London's Heathrow Airport for 40 years. And then he suddenly got attached to a Fergie instead of the airport. And it's like, they go together on, he tries to like help the kid figure out his magic powers and shit, and then someone gets like murdered, I think, and we have no media literacy at 4 a.m. It's hilarious. I don't know how choppy this is going to be after we edit it. It was really like, we got the book for the visuals and we are so obsessed with them. Like I'm tempted to like buy physical copies of this just so we can stare at the art and try and experiment with it. Fuck dude, Whalefall is like such a cool fucking book because it is about the nuances of like being a scapegoat in a family and what happens when you run away from home and then one of your parents starts dying and you kind of don't fucking care because it's got this one kick-ass line about how like Jay spent his entire childhood without a father, so his father will have to die without a son. And it goes on about how like when you're a scapegoat it's not your fault even if that's all your family does, and like it critiques the guilt that children or survivors of childhood abuse like hold against themselves of like if it was their fault at all, if it's because it was hard to raise them, stuff like that. It challenges all of this and it's really going against it, and it's standing up for the fact that like when you are the victim of abuse you don't owe your parents anything because they didn't give you anything in the first place. Children don't owe their parents anything in the first place, let alone when they abused you. But then like right at the end of the book it completely like loses its footing and suddenly it's like, actually it was my fault that I didn't comfort my dying dad after she spent my literal entire life abusing me. Actually I should have been the bigger man there. And it's like, I don't know what the fuck happened. Like I don't know if there was like an editing issue or if the author's like just not quite finished working through their own trauma, but like, God, this is such a speed run of a book review and that's what you guys get. We read a bunch of the MHA manga. We were trying to get ahead of the anime. It did not work. There's too much manga to read. But we read 1 through 11, I believe. Yeah, we read volumes 1 through 11. What can I talk about that isn't just talking about, like, the show? Reading the manga was honestly really cool, seeing the shots that, like, that the anime got from the manga, what was cut, the way that they have more... It's a lot more loyal to, like, Japanese translations. I think it would appear that the sub's probably more loyal too, but in the dub, which we watch because we can't read and also look at something at the same time. That's just not in our skill set. The dub tries to westernize itself a lot more, whereas the manga translation, I guess that's for us. If we're gonna watch the sub, why aren't we just reading the fucking manga? And that is what we did, and it was really cool for that. It helped us appreciate the characters more. We kind of got more time to breathe on certain storylines, but also, like, the manga's still so busy. Like, I'm gonna cover this later, probably when I mention the Kingdom Hearts mangas we read, but, like, holy shit, the MHA manga is so dense and compact, and, like, everything is happening all the time. It is, like, not even that much faster to read than a novel. It's so dense. We got a lot of graphic novels this year. Ichiro was about, like, let me get a refresher. Right, it's about, like, Japanese, mythology, and a kid gets pulled into the domain of the gods, and he gets, like, they know that he's not dead, so he gets arrested and shit, and then, he's got his little, like, I think it's a Tanuki companion, maybe, yeah, it's like a Tanuki, and it's a lot of, like, similar to how we liked Punk's Not Dead. Ichiro had good visuals, it was really stunning. I liked learning about more, Japanese mythology. It wasn't a super, like, deep narrative in that sense, but it's, like, very picturesque and gorgeous, and it was a good read anyways. The Underwater Welder was, like, a little underwhelming, funny enough. Like, it was solid and an intriguing art style. It tries to cover, like, being an absent parent and the fact that, like, people who hurt people have often been hurt themselves first. I'm struggling to remember what it was about, so that tells you how impactful it was. It was, like, fine. It was just kind of like an easy read. It didn't seem to go too deep into its themes. It just kind of, like, abstractly... God, I'm gonna get pissed about Whalefall again. That book was so fucking good for, like, 88% of the pages. And then you get right to the end. After the sickest shit, too. Like, I won't detail it, but it's the sickest fucking shit. You should read it. Well, you should get it from the library, probably, because it's the sickest fucking shit, and then all of a sudden it's like, actually, as the child of abuse, it was my fault, and I should have been there for my parents. This kid's still, like, 18, by the way. He ran away from home at 16, and he's barely 18, and he's blaming himself that he wasn't there for his father when he was dying of cancer. Like, because the last time he saw his father, he, like, looked like he was trying to kill him. God forbid. Jesus. Ugh, I'm so salty about that book. Rules for ghosting. Unironically, probably... Rules of Ghosting was definitely novel read of the year. I'm realizing this list isn't as long as I thought. A lot of it is MHA. But, because we also read all of the 358 Days Over 2 manga. And it's hard to compare. But... Rules for Ghosting was definitely the fucking read of this year, because it's about, like, this trans-masked protagonist who grew up working in his family's Jewish funeral home, and the fact that he can see ghosts, and he just kind of had to deal with that growing up, like, working in a funeral home while being surrounded by ghosts, and, like, just death in general and the oppressive energy of his family. Basically, he has eldest daughter syndrome, gender neutral. So he spends his whole life sacrificing himself for other people and putting up with everything, and he finally got out of it all, and he started working as a doula so that he could, it is the running joke that he ran away from one end of the life spectrum into the other, so he helps with pregnant people and births and stuff. And he specifically does it for queer pregnant people a lot, which is really awesome. He specifically helps a trans guy who's pregnant in the book. Like, it's great. And then he also falls in love with a guy who lives in his apartment building. And he can talk to that guy's dead husband, which is such a fucking meet cute. So the premise was already good. It had us down, but God, the actual, like, body of the book is so good because, like, it tackles a lot of queerness in general, but it also gets so specific into the aspect of, like, the intersections of being trans-masc in which, like, you were raised AFAB, but now people expect you to exist in a toxic masculinity role, but, like, you don't have that in you, especially if you have, like, eldest daughter syndrome, gender neutral. Because you've literally been raised to sacrifice yourself for other people, to keep the peace, to prioritize everyone getting along over the actual fucking, like, just yourself at all. Like, he spends the whole book sacrificing himself so much, and then he has a complete fucking meltdown, because boy, I would too. And it gets into, like, lots of little nuances about family, and I think it does a really good job of showing a family that is broken and struggling, but not irredeemable. Like, you do care about his family. You see the way in which his family is trying, versus Rules of fucking Whalefall. Oh my god, his family, like, blames him. His family is, like, guilting him for the fact that, like, you should really just come talk to your father. Like, he's dying. He does nothing but ask for you. And it's like, do you guys have any respect for the fact that he was the scapegoat and he's the reason why none of y'all got abused? Jesus. Except I think they were abused. At least his mother was. So, like, I really don't know what they're doing. Whalefall is such good scapegoat representation. Down to the fact that at the end, the book itself turns on the scapegoat. And the hard part is, like, I keep doubling back to it, but I really need to fucking emphasize the fact that Whalefall, it is not that the character breaks and returns to old trauma habits and decides that this is an easier role to fulfill. If that was what went on and it was like almost like a Greek tragedy of sorts, that could be cool. But that's not what it did. The narrative itself seems to come to the conclusion that actually you are responsible for your abusive parents and you should make them feel better. And that's why it fucking sucks. You can have a protagonist come to the incorrect decision, but it looks like the book comes to this conclusion, and that's why it fucking hurts. Rules of Ghosting, meanwhile, is really good because it shows how you can have compassion for family members who hurt you, but also, like, are trying. His family's actually trying in this book, and that's why it matters. Because they all actually care for each other, even if they're kind of stuck in this cycle. They care about each other and they want to break out of the cycle and things can get better. And Rules for Ghosting is definitely our #1 recommendation of the year. That shit was so fucking good. We definitely need a physical copy. Anyways, that's the last novel we read, and that shit was back in, like, July. Whoops. We moved in August and reading got so hard. My god. It was just a lot of manga after that. Like, after that, we finished 7 through 11 of MHA, and then we moved on to Kingdom Hearts, where technically we did Days, and then some of KH1, and then back to Days. I'll talk about KH1 first. I think we might have read a fan translation, which makes it really funny, because we got used to, like, Sora calling Heartless bastards, and Donald, like, basically swearing. It was extremely funny. I don't think it's a real translation. Fuck, I should go see if I can find screen caps for this. Oh my god. We read this basically in tandem while we were playing KH1. We only read volumes 1 and 2, so we haven't finished the KH1 manga yet. I'm actually curious to see how they do the 3rd volume. But it's cool seeing the differences from the game, because in the game you do revisits for all the worlds, where, like, you start there and then you leave, well, not all the worlds, some of them. I think in KH2 you get more revisits. In KH1, a lot of them are one and done, but then some of them, like Traverse Town and the Coliseum, you have to kind of revisit, and the manga has to try and regulate all of that and make it a more linear story. But god, it's just so adorable. Sora is such a fucking, like, 13-year-old. He's got this, like, southern accent. Little manga Hick Sora is so good, especially because in the Days manga, Roxas has no such accent, but also we have the actual official English translation of Days. So we'd really have to see what the KH1 official translation looks like, because the fan translation is hysterical. Show me the heartless bastards, God. Actually, I think it was Bastard Heartless, which is way funnier. Oh my god. But yeah, then the last like 5 months were spent reading the Days manga, and god, that shit is so fucking choice and heartbreaking, and I feel like we should just do a fucking video about it. Is there a video out there about the Days manga? If there isn't, we might have to actually write one and do one. Not to become a booktuber. Trying to be variety. Are you a booktuber if you put it over Risk of Rain gameplay? Jury's still out. But yeah, the Days manga is so fucking good. It is like... It is such a concentrated... It feels like it is a very localized story. Days was the first Kingdom Hearts game we actually played through properly. Like, technically, we had played some KH2 before that, but we didn't, like, really play it at all. We mostly just played as Roxas for 8 years. So we played Days. We were excited to see Roxas. We didn't know who this fucking Sora guy is. We didn't care. We liked Roxas and Shion and Axel. And one thing I feel like is we played the game originally in high school. Or in middle school. And then we even got the manga in high school, but we never really finished it. Or even, like, appreciated it in depth. Because we appreciate now how the manga goes all in on how, like, Roxas and Shion, they're just kids, man. Like, I know they're the same age as Sora, but because they're so fresh to existence, and, like, they don't really have their own memories. Like, Roxas doesn't have his own memories at all. And then Shion, clearly she doesn't, like, I don't know how much, she has more memories than Roxas, but, like, not really. Just enough memories to be trans. And so they're just like, they're such kids. Oh my god, they're just adorable little kids, and Axel adopts them because of course he does. We have this headcanon that Saix chose Axel to take care of Roxas just to like give him a treat. It's like, you can go adopt the new kid. Go be a dad. Because literally one of the first pages of the first fucking volume is Roxas hiding behind Axel like he's a kid hiding behind dad when he's anxious about meeting new people. It's adorable. These kids love Axel so much, and he loves them so much, and the manga's so sweet. And there's this bonus chapter where like Shion makes friends with the Dusk, and then the Dusk gets her flowers that are called Shion flowers, and Luxord explains that they mean like nostalgia, and they mean that remembering people, and I'll never forget you, and it's amazing. And I have to assume someone did that on purpose, because like Shion's name is like number 1, but with the X added and then jumbled around, but like I have to assume it has something to do with the flowers, because it is too fucking perfect. Oh my god. Good luck to us editing this video. I don't even know what we're gonna fucking do, Jesus. Yeah, good fucking luck. This is gonna be a hell of a video to edit. We're gonna have to get tons of screenshots from the manga. I love how this is gonna be titled What We Read This Year, and it's like 50% Kingdom Hearts by volume. This is... we tricked you. We tricked you with books, and this is just a video about Kingdom Hearts. We should talk about Kingdom Hearts more. This shit is so fucking choice. Oh my god. Yeah, those books were awesome. We're gonna reread them like all the fucking time. We bought like 3 or 4 volumes of MHA this year because we need them on file for the Yakuzakiri AU we write with a friend. We barely touched them, but we're reading Kingdom Hearts so fucking much. I actually love how yellowed and aged our Days copies are. They're not like worn because they were kind of sitting in boxes for most of our life. But they're yellowed and old, and god, they're like a decade old at this point. More than that even. Fuck. I'm so glad we have them. They're so cool. But yeah, those are our books this year. Recording this did a good job of making me not depressed. Pro tip, if you feel like shit, find some art to make. It's really awesome.